You ever been nervous on a first date? Yeah, me too. What do we do about that? When we're on a first date, all sorts of feelings and anxieties and gut wrenches and thoughts and stories and fantasies and anticipations about what the future might hold, all of these things can stir for us. And especially when many of these pieces are active, wow, can it be difficult to be on a first date with someone in a clear and centered way. That's what this video is about. I want to talk about how can we manage our own discomfort and anxiety on first dates in a way where we can actually be real and authentic and the truest version of ourselves, rather than something that's crippled with excessive thinking or crippled with bodily anxiety or gut wrenches or butterflies. Ultimately empower us to show up in a way where we can, like I said, be ourselves. And it's in that quality of being ourselves and authentic that real connection happens. We can really get a felt sense of who a person is, what they value, what they believe, how they behave, what they do with their life. And so I'm a huge advocate of managing our own discomfort as a necessary life like ninja skill, okay? It requires a high degree of self-attunement. Like, what's going on in my internal system? Can I feel and detect what's there? Can I give it a name? Can I acknowledge it with a high degree of precision and detail? And then how do I shift or transform that if I need to or want to? And so when we have anxiety, butterflies, gut wrenches, stories and fantasies and projections about the future running on a first date, it can totally rob us of a rich first date experience. It can sabotage and block us from just having a really magnificent time and being in our joy. So managing our own discomfort is so key. When we have anxiety running for us, we have a little bit of stress running. There's this quality of like our system runs in an amplified way, but also clenches and contracts at the same time. Like there's this like internal like kind of clutching, pulling inward discomfort style sensation that happens. And that can pinch us off in a way that robs us from being present with our first date. On the contrary, if we can just relax and do the opposite of those bodily tendencies, and that's just soften and relax and slow down. Those are some of the best ways to counteract an elevated or escalated nervous system and elevated amount of thinking patterns that are robbing us of our inner peace and stillness. So I'm talking like head to toe. Do it with me right now. Just relax your toes. How often do you think about relaxing your toes? I don't know about you, but I'm doing it right now, and wow, it's just so nice. It's just like this like subtle bliss that happens when we relax our body, And then we just do a body scan. Relax our toes, relax our shins, our knees, our thighs, our hips, our belly. How often do we carry tension in our belly? Living in a society that values these like concave, tucked in stomachs, like just relax the belly and let the belly be as it is in its softness, irrespective of its size and your interpretations or possible critical judgments about its size. Just let it be as it is. Relax for the sake of being in our ease. Just soften the belly, soften the heart, soften the face, soften our eyes, soften the crown. And take a deep breath. Inhale slow and exhale even slower. And boom, we've already started to shift the trajectory of this downward, inward spiral of anxiety and butterflies and discomfort. Now, if we find ourselves excessively thinking, like we're nervous or we're fantasizing about how we want our first date to go, or we have these ideas and stories because I checked their Facebook profile and oh my God, they like the color blue. And wow, they like the color blue, I like the color blue. Like they like baseball, I like baseball. Wow, we must be perfect for each other. Like these like stories that we can run without actually really getting to know the person, those types of things. I'm a huge fan of this one little trick that can help us quiet the mind and facilitate ourselves jumping off that mental hamster wheel that can run. Relax the tongue, your tongue, in your mouth. Just do it with me for a few seconds. It's not something people think about a lot, but what you might have noticed is that when we drop in with relaxing our tongue, it actually takes like a focused effort. You know, it's not something that humans tend to do naturally or subconsciously. It takes a conscious effort. See if it's true for you, but relaxing our tongue in our mouth immediately stops the flow of thought, which can be a really liberating thing, especially on a first date. I'm a huge advocate of managing our own discomfort, softening our body and system, slowing down, and finding ways where we can escape the tendency for the mind to race and drop in with presence. Maybe it's relaxing the tongue in the roof of your mouth. Maybe it's something subtle like crossing your toes and dropping into presence with your toes being crossed. You know, maybe there is a trick where you like put your hand on the table and just focus on the sensation of your hand touching the table. Find a way to harmlessly get out of the stories that the mind might be running and drop into what's real and true and present in the moment.